When it comes down to it, creating speed is all about creating more propulsion. To help swimmers go faster, the bottom line is that we need to help them learn how to create more propulsion. To do that, they need to learn how to move water backward. It's simple, but it's not easy. So we need strategies that make learning these key skills as effective as possible and as easy as possible. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. In this video, I'm going to show you one of my favorite strategies for helping swimmers learn how to create more propulsion by learning how to more effectively set up the stroke. It can be a confusing skill for a lot of swimmers to learn, and so if we can find strategies that get swimmers a lot closer to where they want to be quickly and easily, we're going to be a lot more effective at helping a lot more swimmers learn the skills that allow them to swim fast. Creating propulsion is all about surface area. It's really simple. To go fast, swimmers need to create propulsion. To create propulsion, swimmers need to move water backwards. And to move water backwards, they need surface area. So they need to use as much of their arm as possible in order to create a big paddle to move water with. And so if you're going to be canoeing or kayaking and you have this tiny little paddle, it's going to be a lot less effective than if you've got this big giant paddle that you can use to move water with. So how can swimmers create a big surface area? They can use their hand, obviously, and most of them do that reasonably well. They can also use their forearm really effectively. Many swimmers struggle to do both. They can't get into the position where they can access their forearm. They struggle to position their forearm in a way that allows them to move a lot of water, and they can't maintain that position throughout the entire stroke. So if you hear a dropped elbow, well, that's when they've got the big surface area, boom, they let go of it, and now they're pulling through without having their whole arm facing backwards. And the challenge is that it's a really unnatural movement. There's not much sensory information in the forearm, and so a lot of swimmers really struggle to feel what they need to do, to figure out how to make it happen, and so we have to use strategies that make it easier for them to pick up this key skill. And for a quick visual of what we're talking about, you can see right there, the whole arm is oriented backwards, and then that position is held throughout the entire stroke. And so butterflies are getting there, and then they're holding that throughout the entire stroke. In freestyle, we see the same thing. Big surface area, and then it's moving backwards throughout the entire stroke. So same idea, slightly different application because it's a different stroke, but same concept. With sprint freestyle, we see the same thing. Big hook there, big surface area, especially in the back of the stroke, using the whole arm to create propulsion. Again, breaststroke, same idea. There's that surface area using the whole arm, and from there to there, pulling back with that big surface area in order to move the body forwards. It's not just the hands, it's the hands and the forearms that are helping swimmers move down the pool. And lastly, in backstroke, we see the same thing. There's the big hook, the big surface area, and that water is getting pushed all the way back down. And so from the top of the stroke to the bottom of the stroke, it's this big surface area facing backwards, getting the hand and the forearm facing backwards, and then holding that position throughout the stroke. So how do we encourage this skill? Have swimmers hold their paddles upside down. So when swimmers pull, the hand and the forearm have to move as a unit. The hand's facing backwards, the forearm's facing backwards as well, so everything is going to be moving together. And that means bigger surface area, that means more propulsion, that means more speed. It's really useful because swimmers can learn to feel effective positions. The paddles force them to do it right, then they can feel what it's like without the paddle. So by putting them in positions where they can make it happen, now we can help them learn how to make it happen without the paddle, without that added constraint. It's also really effective because it's extremely practical. It doesn't take much coaching to have someone hold their paddles upside down. They'll naturally start to use the desired positions when they swim. And because it's a really simple way to do that, it doesn't require much thought, it's a strategy that can be trained. You can do it fast, you can do it long, you can do it hard, and that helps swimmers learn these key skills in a training context, which means it's more likely to actually show up in races. So we'll take a look at it in action. As you can see, he's going to use his whole arm as a unit. He's going to get that hand and forearm facing backwards, and then he's going to pull. The paddle makes him do it. And so it's a very effective strategy for helping swimmers learn how to feel and get into these positions. Super simple, super practical, super effective. Now, as I just said, this is a strategy that can be trained, and that is something we want to take advantage of. So we can use resistance, we can further challenge the skill and build strength in that position. We can use performance like speed, stroke rate, stroke counts, help swimmers learn to use the position to create speed and to create length and to create efficiency. We can isolate the arms by taking away the legs, so swimmers have to use their arms, and so if they're working against resistance, they're trying to hit performances, they can't cheat it with their legs, they've got to use that position in order to hit those targets. We can also add fatigue to it, because if swimmers can't execute the skill when they're tired, well, they're going to get tired in races, so they have to be able to do that or they're going to be at a serious disadvantage. So we can really challenge this skill and we can use this strategy and put it under pressure to help swimmers learn to execute the skill at higher and higher levels of performance. This set is more of an endurance set for backstroke, so they're going to go 475s with a buoy and upside down paddles. They're going to descend 1 to 4 to strong at the same stroke count. So they have to be efficient. They've got to use that effective position in order to create length and more speed. Then they're going to go right into 200 backstroke. They're going to negative split at the same stroke count. And then 100 backstroke, they'll add a stroke from whatever stroke count they used from the 200, and we'll do that by 25, and then they're going to go strong effort. So they're going to add speed as they move through the set, and they're going to set up each section by using the upside down paddles to really feel those positions and then try to make it happen with the regular swimming. Second time through, same basic idea, except the odd 75s are going to be low stroke count, and then the evens, they're going to go strong at the same stroke count. So the odds, they're just staying really long, and the evens, they're going strong, but they have to be consistent with the stroke count each 25. So they can pick their stroke count, but it's got to stay the same. They've got to be consistent with their ability to apply pressure to the water and to set up the stroke really well. 200 backstroke, going for a bigger negative split than the first round. 100 backstroke, same thing as the previous round, but they're going stronger effort. So last round, they're going best average on those 75s. They got to keep the stroke count the same each 25, but whatever it is, they can choose, but they have to be consistent with their efficiency, consistent with their application of pressure, and they have to do that, especially as they start to get tired. Then another 200, try to be even better, and another 100, try to be even better. So we're setting them up, helping them feel, helping them execute, and then they're letting it rip on those 200s and 100s, trying to apply those same skills. Next set is a little bit more of a racing set with freestyle. They're going to go 825s, freestyle, parachute, upside down paddles. They're going minimize stroke count and time. So they've got the parachute, they've got to overcome that resistance. They've got the upside down paddles. We're encouraging them to use the forearm, and they've got to find a way to go long and fast. So we're getting some really good strength, some really good skills on those 825s. Then they're going to go with 75 at 200 speed, 50 fast, and then a 25 max. They're going to repeat that 2 more rounds. Now they're only going 625s. It's done the same way, but they're adding a stroke, and then they're trying to go faster. The 75, try to be faster than the first round, and then on the 50 and the 25s, because they've got more work ahead of them before that, they're just trying to match it. On the last section, they've only got 4 25s. They're adding another stroke from the 625s. They're going even faster. Then they're going to go 75, just letting it rip, and they're trying to match it on the 50 and the 25. So we're getting a lot of length here. We're getting a lot of speed here. We're encouraging those skills with the upside down paddles. We're encouraging those skills with the resistance, and then we're allowing them to see what they can do and see what they can execute at speed with fatigue. Last set is more of a speed set. We're going to go 4 rounds through. They're going to go 325s, power pulls with a buoy, so they're just focusing on setting up the stroke really well. They're going to go upside down paddles, further encouraging them to use their forearms, and we're putting them on a moderate pulley resistance to further challenge those skills. Their goal is to take fewer strokes each 25. They've got to learn how to hold more water each time, working against the resistance. Then they're going to go 325s butterfly, descend to fast at the same stroke count, keep that stroke count controlled, so they have to find efficiency, length, and speed. And then they're going to go 25 butterfly, whatever their stroke count was on those 325s, add a stroke, go faster, and then they're going to 25 butterfly fast to finish it off. So for the first 325s and the second 325s, we're encouraging them to really learn how to position their arm, how to hold water. We're asking them to create length and speed, and then we're asking for a little bit less length and more speed as we go through the set. If you want another great strategy to help swimmers learn how to change their hands in order to create more speed, check out the video below.